but it still works.
So no, and I, you know how when you get like, when you have like a traumatic thing happen, like sometimes some people will have like one patch of white in their hair. You know what I'm talking about? In their hair?
Like when they've had some sort of trauma or like
Yeah, like when they see it in the tunnels underneath the city.
And I have a and I have a friend who has like a patch in his hair. Yeah, Kyle.
Kyle Switzer.
Yeah, has it. He does. So I thought he had that, and I was like, we were sitting next to each other, and we were in front of like the network people and the writers, producers, and I was like, hey, do you have like a little gray spot in your hair? Meaning that. But he was like, and then we instantly.
And I was just like, well, no, but thanks for doing that here. And that was the first thing that we'd said to each other ever.
Instantly took the piss out of
And
each
immediately we just started like giving each other shit. And I remember glancing over at the writers, and they were just like,
oh,
you know,
this might work.
And so suddenly we started reading together a lot more, and then later at the screen test, you showed up, and you were just so excited to meet us and everything.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were. Remember how excited you were?
No.
Look,
No, you were so excited.
I am just judging.
I was not. I completely.
I am only judging by how big your teeth were, okay? Because maybe your 100% excitement is a normal person's 50.
That's true.
That's fine.
That's true.
But you.
No, I was not excited to meet either of you. I remember seeing, when I came and met you in the screen test, when I saw Whitworth, he was completely silent, he wasn't speaking to anybody. He was miserable. And then I remember looking at him secretly, and I was looking at the color of his face compared to his arms, because I was wondering if he was wearing makeup.
Only on my arms.
No, because I thought you were wearing like white makeup to look that white.
I was in white face.
But then I saw... Still super racist, a little more socially acceptable, but it shouldn't be. And then it turns out he wasn't. He's really that white. And then Sammy was telling everybody about a dream that he had. No. You were sleepwalking and you went out the window.
Yeah,
out the window.
That's a story.
And I was like, oh God.
Yeah, that was bad.
It's interesting because Sam was telling that story to such an extent, and other stories that he had to be, what was it, 3 times that the receptionist had to say, you need to keep it down, there are auditions.
She brought over a sign that said silence and put it in front of him.
I'm a chatty Cathy.
But then, and when someone would ask him, you know, she'd be like, you really need to be quiet, there's auditions. He goes, I'm sorry, I just really want the part.
I did.
And then you got it, so...
Then I got it.
There it is.
I got it, and here we are.
Turns out.
Yeah.
So you were sleepwalking in this dream?
Oh yeah, no, I sleptwalked out a 2nd story window. Yeah, it was terrifying. I'm fine now. I was emotionally scarred for a while.
Nice.
But yeah, I landed on my ass. I was completely naked, and because that's how I sleep. And this was a long time ago. This was
Now he sleeps in a full nightie.
Yeah, I sleep.
That was back in his wild
in a
days.
straight jacket.
Before kids.
It was before kids. And I called my wife, and I mean this was probably 8 years ago, and I said, I'm going to bed. Wake up in the middle of the night. I'm like, whoa. I remember this. I remember thinking, well, I need to get out of this room.
This will not
do. And I remember thinking there was someone very threatening outside the door. So I opened the window and took off the screen and literally, like, basically jumped out the window. Hung there, naked. Yep. Landed on my ass. And as soon as I hit the ground, I woke up, and I was like, naked outside. Luckily, it was at my parents' house in New Hampshire. So I like run around the house. This is like 2 o'clock in the morning, and you find the spare key, and go in, and call my wife again, and I said, you're not gonna believe what just happened.
Wait, she was inside and you called?
No, she was in LA, and I was in New Hampshire.
That's an amazing story. I mean,
it was legitimately terrifying. It was bizarre because and it was the only time, by the way, that I've ever sleptwalked. It's just, it happened. I think that that house is haunted, though. No shit, I think that house is haunted. I think I was possessed by Megan, who was trying to kill me. Before
I
she
just
met
wanted
you.
to see what you looked like, Megan.
See what I look like? Yeah. Little did I know, the hour before that, she had been possessing me, just touching myself. Yeah, anyway.
How about an audience question?
Yeah.
Right here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I wanted to know because obviously you're all actors and performers. Of all the auditions that you've ever been on between any other shows or anything, what is the most craziest and weirdest that you've ever had?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I have to think.
I injured a casting director. That happened. For real, it actually did happen. There was a role I was going out for some movie that a friend of mine was directing. Or no, he wasn't directing, he was producing it. And the director was there, and he was this German guy. And in this scene, I was supposed to be like drunk and on heroin and every drug you can imagine, and just losing my mind, having this very emotional talk with this other dude. And so I was shooting something else at the time, so I came in, no sleep, arrived there, and he's like, okay, just go crazy. So I went crazy. I mean, really went crazy, and tears and snot are flying everywhere, and I was losing it. And I was like, that's about as far as I'm really willing to go. So we did that, and then afterward, he's like, that's so interesting. I think I want to see you just lose your mind, just boom. I mean, explode your brain all over my face, and make sure that I cannot see anything but your memories against my eyeballs. I'm just like, so he said something really weird like that. I'm like, more? He's like, yeah, I just said more. Do it. And so I did, all right? So I'm like, all right, I guess I'll really go for it. And at this one point, and I'm reading with the casting director, and my buddy's back there, and at one key point, I got angry in the middle of just losing my mind, and I just smacked this chair out of my way as I was rushing the casting director, and it was a big metal chair, which had no concept of how much it weighed, so I knocked it out of the way, it rolled, slammed the table, rolled again, and struck her right in the knee. It's a true story. And there's a moment, and she just continues. She's just like, what else do you want to say to me? You know, and I just kept going and did the scene, and then as soon as the guy yelled cut, she went, oh God, oh God. I'm like, oh, I didn't know it was that bad. And so, you know, at that point I look up at my buddy, he's just like, you know.
That's such a meet cute.
A meet cute?
Yeah, like a meet cute when you read something and you're like, oh, they met and it was such a cute meet. Meet cute. That's what's
a meet cute.
Meet cute.
I like that.
Because now in theory you're like, then we went on to date, and now she's my wife.
That's sort of meaty, that cute. Yeah. But eventually, so the first thing I did as soon as I left the room was like rush to the drugstore, get a bunch of like, you know, aspirin and pain medication, and then I grabbed some flowers and went right back there. I was like, haha, sorry.
Oh, that's nice.
Did I break anything? And apparently, as soon as I left, the only good news is that she was like, oh God, and I leave the room, she's like, at least he was really good. Ah, God.
Did you get it?
No, but apparently the producer, it almost got me another gig on something else, but I wasn't available. So she just got a broken knee out of it. I just didn't break anything, but it really hurt her, which sucks.
What you got?
Hugo Slavia.
Well, when I was auditioning for Hugo from Martin Scorsese. No, I don't know. I don't have a good story like that. I'm trying to think. And it was mortifying actually. My phone rang one time. It's boring. One time. My phone rang one time in the middle of it was actually just a meeting. I wasn't even reading for this thing. And the director, and it was a cool movie too. I actually don't think it ever got made, but he was kind of a dick. And he was like, and my phone rang, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He goes, huh, I hate that. And I got really angry. I was like, because I was like defensive. I was like, that never happens to me, dude. I was like, and I forget what I said. It was something like, pump the brakes. I was so mad. I was so mad. I was like, how dare you like think that's me? Like I'm not that guy, but I was that guy. What's the problem? Like
why were you so defensive?
I was so mad when he said that. Because he was so mean about it. I was like, I'm sorry. I wasn't like I forget. And the movie was really cool. The movie was like about this ghost in Afghanistan. It was really neat.
Why didn't I audition for that?
You would have been perfect. Afghani ghost. Nailed it.
Hey, Megan, have you ever thrown a chair at someone or been inconsiderate in a meeting?
Yeah. I mean, I've thrown stuff at people, but not in an audition.
In the process of getting apart or trying to get apart?
No, I'm very polite. No, I'm not.
She means she sleeps with everyone she auditions for.
Here's the thing, it's a really easy way for pretty girls to get work.
Yeah.
So
Be polite.
Be polite.
Be polite.
And also
Really
sleep
polite.
It's an important acting tip for all the aspiring actors out there. Professionally, on Being Human, what have been some of the hardest scenes for you guys to shoot?
Oh man, there's been some hard stuff this year already. We just started. The first 2 weeks for us were insane. Like it was.
Well, not for me.
Yeah, not for him.
Pretty easy run the first couple weeks.
Not for him. Like this young gentleman had the question about werewolves, and spoiler alert, you get to see a little bit more of the wolf and a little bit less of this guy, at least to begin with.
Face, right?
So we're working with Sam, but Sam is like a headshot of Sam Huntington on a little stand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the one that comes to mind for me was when Rebecca dies at the end of season 1, because at that point there was early snowfall in Montreal, and so if you remember in some of those episodes, some of the flashbacks, there was snow everywhere. But then when you'd come to modern day, there wasn't snow. Well, that was either because we got lucky when we shot, or they framed out the snow. They'd clean up all the snow and then shoot us against a wall, and you wouldn't see the snow. So in that particular scene, it was below zero. I'm wearing a thin shirt. Sarah Allen's wearing just like a t-shirt and a thin leather jacket. And it was bad, like frostbitten hardcore. It was really bad.
I remember I finished that night because I had been sick.
You were there.
And I finished at like 3 a.m. and which wasn't late, which is not late, by the way. And I got home and I got so sick after that. I still don't remember ever in my life being that sick. And I was on set literally like quaking, like because I was up before you guys, and it was so cold. And I remember leaving set being so sick, like crying. And this is how it was season 1 though, like just in general, they worked us so hard.
We were out there for 14 hours in that cold.
I know, and then I remember I left at 3, and you guys had another like 4 hours worth of shooting to do. And
Got home at like 6 or 7, I think.
I was like, I couldn't keep going right now.
I drew a bath. I made a big bath of big, nice, warm water, and I got in it, and within 5 minutes, I'm like, wait a second, touch the water, it's cold. I'm like, whoa! I mean, I literally sucked all the heat out of the bathtub and then had to refill it. Heat sucker.
The hardest stuff on the show is all the physical stuff, and there's a lot of it. I mean, the hours are one thing, and the subject matter is one thing because it's extremely emotionally demanding. But when you put on top of all that, the physical stuff that we have to do, and all of us like doing our own stunts, and we do as many as we can.
Well, most of us do. Most of us do.
Sam Whitwer and I enjoyed.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 of us do.
No, I just stay in my trailer.
But that stuff gets really, really hard.
Yeah, getting chained up like this for 10 hours while Xander Berkeley yells at you.
You were a rock star that day.
That was tough.
Lying on the stairs for 3 days?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was tough for you.
Yeah.
Painful.
Well, you did your fall, right?
I did when in the finale of season 3, when Donna pulls me down the death spot, there's another fall down the stairs, and I did the close-up of it, and I rolled backwards down the stairs and was advised not to by the stunt coordinator, but I was like, I'm down, I didn't do it, I didn't fucking do it. And immediately, like, wrecked my neck, and I'm still dealing with it now.
I still have pains in here because of the Xander Berkeley crucifixion scene. And I remember the director, he kept wanting to do this. Remember that? He kept wanting to do the one take over and over again because he gets so angry that I had like blood. This is the scene in season 3 when I'm getting tortured. And he kept getting so angry because I had blood kind of dripping out of my mouth. And he didn't want that for some reason. And I kept insisting, I'm like, I think the editors are going to want blood dripping out of the tortured guy's mouth, dude. You know, and eventually they used the blood.
Yeah. That was Matt.
Yes, ma'am.
So for Sam, why would your character lie to Josh and Sally, saying he killed his son at the end of the first season?
Why?
That is like the worst move. You promised all season, I'm going to take care of you, I'm going to take care of you, and then you totally ditched it.
Yeah. You mean, wait,
Sam Witwer or Aiden? But yeah.
what I did was worse. Yeah.
Is that going to be fixed this season?
In terms of why, what was, first of all, she's asking why I would, when I took Kenny into the woods, why I didn't kill him. Now, was that a good choice or a bad choice from your point of view?
I think it was a bad choice.
To not kill him? Okay, interesting. Because throughout the season, throughout his immediate life, he'd seen the death of a lot of sons. Bernie, that was pretty hard on him. His son in the past, he lost his son. And he lost Henry from his own actions. Henry dies because Aiden didn't have a plan in place of Henry's plan. And it was just too much for him. He couldn't lose another one.
But it was selfish. It was selfish, and then when he lied to Josh and Sally, it was selfish again.
Yeah, I guess next time I'll just make sure to murder someone. Next time someone says murder him.
Next time, kill the abomination.
When you say you're going to murder a child,
You
murder
do
a
it!
child.
If there's a kid,
Especially when you
Selfish
promise
bastard.
your friends,
dude,
man.
if you told your friends that you're gonna go kill a defenseless kid,
Then you do it.
especially if you said afterward, oh yeah, I took care of it. It's like, well, that kid better be in pieces, bro. Yeah. That kid better be literally...
Make it slow.
It's just proper roommate etiquette, frankly. Yes. Let's get
You did it
one or
fast?
two.
God damn it.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Jackie. So what is the craziest fan moment or story that any YouTube has?
Like a fan interaction with them.
Sam Huntington, you are the father.
I can't. That's just how we end the panel.
That's it. A fan had his kid.
I thought of one the other day and I was like, oh, someone's going to ask this and this will be my answer. And now I don't
Yeah, it's
remember.
gone. To be honest, it's always really pleasant. Like even when you guys are crazy, it's always really pleasant. I like meeting everybody. There's never been a negative. I've never had a negative.
Well, there's, when that time when someone called you selfish for not murdering. That was kind of weird.
That was really unpleasant. Remember how uncomfortable we were?
It was weird, yeah.
Yeah.
Chill fell over the room.
Yeah. You had a painting, it was connected to Superman, right? Somebody painted a picture of you as Jimmy Olsen, or was that, I thought that was, unless it was another, maybe it was an Ashmore.
It was probably an Ashmore.
Yeah.
It was probably
I get my Jimmies.
So many of those guys.
We're just we're a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
All right, let's get a final question. Yeah, that guy is on.
There he is.
Yes.
Question, guys. Okay, so whose idea was it to have dog? No, I can't speak.
Dog the Catman.
Dog, cat, dog,
Dog the Catman dude.
When you were doing the whole dance party scene.
I want to say that was yours.
I think it was my idea.
I think so.
I'm always pro featuring Dog.
He's the 5th roommate.
Yeah, he is.
Dog the Catman dude, if you guys are not aware of who this is, there's a little statue in the apartment of this weird dog cat-like
Right by the
creature
fireplace.
that wears
He's a white guy.
catcher's mask and a little crown because he's the king of kings.
He's a king among
We've
kings.
fallen in love with him. We've fallen head
This is really bizarre. We can't tell whether the sculpture is a dog or a cat.
Yeah.
And it just kind of looks at...
Well, that was what it was. He's always wearing the catcher's mask.
No, but
So we were like,
it's-
we always like, it's a dog, it's a dog, it's a dog.
But then you take the catcher's mask off, you're like,
through the mask.
it's a cat. Well, here's the deal.
cat, damn
He's-
it.
He's half dog, half cat, half man, all dude. Dog, the cat man, dude.
Yeah. He's definitely got a male energy, that's for sure.
That's right.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a guy.
Oh, he's a dude.
He's a dude.
Trust me.
But he's become a big part of the show, and he's definitely, the fans seem to notice him and love him.
fans love him.
It's because we make such a big deal out of it.
Yeah, but I'm so surprised that I never see any like dog merchandise.
What the hell was that about?
Come on, Matt. Make it happen. Make it happen.
Make it happen.
T-shirts, keychains.
Does he have his own Twitter feed?
Okay, see.
Yeah, Matt's a big. Matt's a big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other? Can we take more?
Yeah, let's. We can take a couple more questions.
You have another
Wait.
question. Oh, now. Oh, clearly you've decided.
Yo.
Who was the friend that convinced you to take a second look at the script?
Oh,
You were originally going to
Here
turn
we
it
go.
down.
Yeah. Okay. So Laura Terry is a friend of mine. She knows everything that's going on in terms of what's happening in Hollywood. And I read the script and. Well, I didn't read the script. I read 3 pages of the script and read the word vampire, and I was like, well, don't we have like 70 of these guys? I don't know why we need another one. And then she called me up and said, did you turn down the Being Human audition? I said, yeah. And she says, did you read the script? I'm like, sure. She's like, but you didn't though. I'm like, well, you're right. And so when I read it, I felt like an idiot because I was like, oh, this is a dude who's fighting addiction. This is a drug addict. That's interesting.
It's about a dog.
It's about a dog.
Man.
Half dog, half cat, half man.
All dude.
All dude.
But here's the thing. He's all dude.
He's just trying to be human.
Yeah. He's just trying to be human, and he's got so many things battling him inside.
Dog, cat, man. But he just wants to be a dude.
But he just needs to be that dude.
And he is one though.
At the end of the
deep
day.
down.
Until Clarence Barneger shoots him and he becomes a cop. For the people who get that, congratulations.
Right over my head, that guy did.
Dog, cat, man, dude, Robo. Yeah.
Robo, yeah.
Whatever. You guys suck. I hate you guys.
All right, real quickly, let's get this young lady here. You have a question.
What was it like live tweeting first year for season 3?
What was it like live
It's
tweeting?
a mixed bag. Yeah, was it like? Do you guys on Twitter? Do you guys do the Twitter thing? Okay.
So 3 of them.
So good for you. We do the live tweeting thing every now and then. Sci-fi encourages it, and the people really seem to like it. But for me, to be honest, it's kind of a mixed bag because I'm so focused on like tweeting about it that I don't get to really watch the show. So
Yeah, I don't see how. No offense. I don't see how you can live tweet the entire episode and enjoy the show.
Enjoy the show.
Especially when we're making fun of it so hardcore.
And then you're doing it for the West Coast as well.
Yeah, we
you do
do
it
both.
twice, right?
Yeah, I do it twice.
Oh, you do it, yeah.
I really, really like doing that because it's such a different experience watching with the fans and seeing what they think at every moment. And then it just makes you feel closer to them, and I don't know, it's like we're all watching it together.
It's
it
like,
brings
that's what
something
it's like watching with an audience.
It's like a big sleepover party.
Yeah, it is.
And I really, really like that. But I also like watching the episode and just, because we haven't really seen them.
All right, guys. Well, I always like to end on a Twitter